Hi, book babes. This is Beyond the Pages with Alyssa Marie. I am here with Rafael Garcia. Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I see from your author page on Amazon that you are in San Antonio.
Yes, yes, born and raised.
That's amazing. I'm about an hour from Austin.
Wow, Texas
Small
strong.
world. Right, right. Do you do any author events
uh,
in your area?
yes, so starting next month, I will be doing some book signings at local bookstores here in San Antonio. I also do some conventions here in San Antonio as well. I will be doing a live panel at FearFest at the Henry B. Gonzalez Center, and it is sponsored by Retro City. So yes,
That's amazing.
yes.
That's so fun. I love book conventions.
Yes,
They're
it's right up my alley. It's kind of like Comic-Con mixed with all the books and all the nooks and crannies of anything that you would want scary. So I'm definitely excited for it.
absolutely. So is like so would you say horror is kinda your favorite genre?
I mean, yeah, it is, but I also love like comedy. So in retrospect, I mean, I it kind of just fell into my domain. I mean, it was something where everyone around me was kind of surprised, but it was just one of those things where I saw that I was really good at it, and so I just kind of ran with it.
That's awesome. So I see comic books hanging on the wall behind you.
Yes, I am a big graphic nerd, so anything like related to comic books, it is like one thing that I have to stick to. I mean, I studied literature, but I also for 8 years studied graphic artistry and 2D and 3D animation. So I try and incorporate that in my work as well.
Really? Okay, I was going to ask you, who designs your covers? Because they look kinda graphic novelty. I love that vibe.
Yeah, so I drew everything. So top to bottom, cover to cover, it was all my designs. I mean, my illustrations and yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, my illustrations, I get emotional because it's, when growing up, it was something that I wanted to incorporate because I mean, there's so many stories that are out there that people don't get invested in books nowadays like they should. And so I wanted to really create something that just spoke to readers in a sense where, like, oh my gosh, it feels like I'm watching a movie or a Netflix show, on a book.
Yeah.
And this is where I wanted to make retro tune again. So I wanted to bring back the 90s and 80s vibe and incorporate that into my work.
I love that vibe.
It's the best.
Very
It's the best.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
It is the
yeah, it's the
best,
best.
and it's so nostalgic.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
love it. That's awesome. So do you write graphic novels as well?
Yes, so, right now, I just released, one in August, and that was my first take on my very first, take on a graphic novel. It was I wanted to mix, something different, so I mixed the elements of a graphic novel with a chapter book, and I call it a graphic chapter novel.
Love
So
it.
it's like a little bit of everything you get, and it's like if you want to really have something special. I feel like you have to make it your own. So that's where I went full on, just cover to cover, spine, graphics, everything in between. I mean, it was exhausting, but it was like the best thing, like to see it. It's just the best, I think.
Oh, I mean, I was creeping on you earlier and that your covers I know I texted you and I was like, "Take your time. I'm busy, looking at your books."
It's okay.
They they're eye-catching.
Yes.
Like, the use of your coloring and contrast and the lines, it's eye-catching.
And that was something that I did purposely, just because it's like, I wanted I know this is, like, the most odd analogy, but, like, I want to be known as, like, the Elton John of book covers. Like, I want everything just to stand out and just be loud and crazy and just something that people, when they see on a shelf, they're just like, "Yeah, Ralph did that."
I love that. I think if we market that appropriately, we can make that stick because they are so eye-catching.
Oh, yes, yes, definitely.
Do you, do, like, commission covers for other people as well?
Do, and I'm open to it. It's something that I just, have been trying to get, the really the word out on there that because, I feel like if I help other people with their work, it's essentially just building up, not just what they want to do, but it's like if you have something, I've always been that type of person where you can't be selfish with it. You have to share it with others. And if you see someone that is really, you know, struggling with just wanting to bring their vision to life, why not help them? That's just something that I've, I guess it was just how I grew up that I just really wanted, to have that mentality. And, I see other, commissioners and people that want to do cover art and, they charge an extreme amount. And you know what? I do give them credit for that. They only know how good their work is, but I also look at the little guy that, really can't afford it. So I always try to work with people and, because I feel like everyone should have a chance. That's just how I am.
And access.
Yes,
Yeah, that
yes,
makes sense.
yes.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful. So, okay, you designed and illustrated
Yes,
a graphic chapter novel.
yes.
How long did that take you? Because I think I could make maybe a graphic novel of stick figures with nothing else in a year.
So that's an interesting question because it was this time last year. Well, let me backtrack. May of 2 years ago, I got diagnosed with pneumonia. And so when I had pneumonia, uh, I know there's that saying where people get sick, they feel like a zombie. So I was just in the hospital, and I felt, of course, terrible. I did not, it was something where I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. And I was literally just thinking to myself, how would this be? And so I just kind of got the reins of just laying out this character, which turned out to be my main character. I just kind of started jotting notes here and there and really just exploring and, brainstorming ideas. And, I just kind of put it, to the side because I was so busy. And then fast forward, a 2 years later, I was, again, I ended up in a situation that I was in, a pneumonia again. This was last year, and in November. And so I ended up having pneumonia, kidney stones, blood infection. And I mean, everything that you could name, I had. It was just absolute worst, but it had me thinking, what how can you incorporate this into the mentality of a main character and like these emotions that you're going through? Because it's so exhausting and it's so isolating that I just wanted to make it in a sense where, okay, how would this really look on paper? And so these emotions. And so this is where I developed, Adrian Harris, who is my main character in this novel. And I got attached and I got emotionally invested. And it was just one thing after another after that sickness. And so it really helped me develop that character. And I don't want to like go off the rails here, but it was when I developed him, it took 3 months. And then it took after that another 3 months just to write it because it felt so organic. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It just felt so natural to write this story. And when I wrote it, I mean, I was just like, okay, I'm very detailed and I'm very oriented, like really, really just, I'm a bit OCD when it comes to my writing. So it's like I
Sure.
need things to be a certain way to build a scene. And so when I build these scenes, I was like, just alone, it reads good, but it's not enough. So this is where the illustrations took time. So I handed it to my editor, and literally I told her, I'm like, Christina, I'm giving you 6 months just to get it done. And I am going to illustrate everything. And so as she's working on it, I'm sending her the illustrations and being like, make sure this works with this. And, I am the worst when it comes to getting, everything put together. Once the final draft came, it was in July 15th of this year, and I started putting it together, at mid-August, which is like August 10th, and I published August 17th. So not a lot of time.
No,
No.
that's insane.
Yeah, I heard it from my editor. She was literally like, "You're crazy. I don't know how you did this." And I actually ended up working so hard. I ended up in the hospital again, and I just came
No.
out like 3 weeks ago. And so I've been marketing like just for 3 weeks, and, I'm shocked because it's on Amazon, and not only on Amazon, it's number 11 in best graphic novels, and, we're really trying to get it to the number 1 spot right now.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, I read the, synopsis of it.
Oh, yes.
It sounds amazing. And
Thank you.
you're, like, at 5 stars.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I saw that, I was like, "Oh my go okay, okay, alright, yes, it's coming, so I'm excited." So we can get it on Amazon and KU. Do you sell signed copies?
Yes, so I do sign copies. Readers need to know is that if they want a signed copy, just DM me on social media or reach out to me for my email. Another way that they can do that is I'm always advertising signings that I am going to be at and events that I'm going to be at. And they could get signed copies off there too.
Perfect. And I'll link your email in the show notes.
Yes.
And then, and I'll be posting like teasers of this
Yes.
on socials and I'll tag you. So,
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah, 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 yeah. When I know you had mentioned that you started your graphic novel journey a few years ago. Have you always been writing, or is it something that you just kind of had a spark of inspiration?
So that was something that I really am just open about because um, when I was in elementary school, I grew up with dyslexia and, with a physical disability. And so I didn't know it at the time that I was dyslexic, but the teachers of the school, I know it's like it's gonna sound depressing, but the school that I was a part of at the time, they weren't really informed, when it or educated. Educated is a better word. They weren't educated, very well when it comes to disabilities and, the disabled community. And so the the perception of that, it brings, you know, I wanna say just certain judgments on that. And, long story short, um, the teachers would put me in a corner. And I was a very shy kid. I was a very shy, quiet kid. I wasn't loud. The only time I would be loud is at home. That's where I would be myself. And so um, their lessons and all that, it wasn't really catching. They would literally just be like, here is a coloring book, sit in the corner and, you know, color and really just be a part of, don't be a part of this, like just stay in your lane. And being a kid, you don't know. You don't know left to right. If you're told to do something at school, you think it's the best. So I was, um, fast forward to, um, I'm actually doing a project that I will talk about this later. But, when fast forward to the fifth grade, I'm 9 years old and don't know how to read. And I just knew that I would go to the library and I would be gravitated. And when I was gravitated by so many stories. I mean, I wasn't able to read the words, but I was just captivated by just these covers, these designs, and so many pages. And I was wondering, okay, what is going on that I don't know about? And so, I would look at stories like manga and, Harry Potter and stuff like, The Little Red Hen. I can list off countless stories. And, but I would think, okay, what illustrations are in here? So I would open it and I would think, okay, what would this person, his name be? Or what would their what would their dialogue be? Like, what would they be saying to each other? So in my mind, I developed my own stories of these characters just to match it. And I would just be blown away on my own. So I developed that. And as I'm developing this, I'm slowly just learning my own system. And this went on until middle school, where I was finally given a chance by a teacher. And she said, no, you're more than what people see that you are. and she taught me how to read, she taught me how to write, and, all basically the beginning steps of education. And at that same time, I'm drawing and creating little bits and learning shading, and I thank my sister for that because she taught me that. But, as I'm developing these steps, I didn't know what I was gonna do when I got older. And so I got older, and it was at the end of high school where that same teacher, she told me, "What is it that you wanna do?" And I said, "I have no idea." And she told me, "Well, why don't you be a writer?" And, originally, I laughed, like, I'm not joking, I laughed, like, I could never be a writer. And she said, "Why not?" Well, it's kinda just that residual feeling, like, "Am I good enough?" And so, she said, "6 months, just write something." And so I wrote this story, it's never been published, and by the end, she was just like, "You have it, and if you don't follow through with this, then you're literally sitting just on empty domed." And I said, "Well, one day." And so for literally 10 years, it was just still developing on the side, writing, working on projects, and drawing, doing art on the side. It was just a hobby. And then finally, I just said, "What's the worst that can happen?" Literally, just take it and run with it. And so I did, and out came my first book, which, is like everyone's first book is not perfect. But it was like something where I was just like, okay, I did this. This is something that I did, and I can run with it. And so from that moment, I've just been hooked ever since.
I'm teary-eyed. I thank you, first of all, for being vulnerable with your story because I think
Fun.
that it it takes a lot of strength to, you know, tell your story, just, just bottom line. But I think that it can bring a lot of, awareness too. How knowledge is power. My full-time job, I am a speech pathologist, so I help, um, individuals with disabilities communicate,
Yes.
among other things. And so your story selfishly, makes me feel validated because I always view my patients as, able
Mhm.
until you show me that you can't.
Yes.
That's kind of like my motto. You may not communicate verbally
Oh, yes.
or with sign or whatever way, but it's my job to figure out how you're communicating and what is most functional for you. And so I think that's beautiful, and it makes me so angry for you while you were in elementary school, because no kid should be treated like that. And it's not that you can't, it's that your access is different, and and that's okay. Everyone's different.
Oh, yes.
Um, so I just really thank you for, saying that. And I'm this is gonna sound stupid, but I'm proud of you,
Mhm.
um,
Thank you.
for overcoming and really showing those teachers that discrimination, is not okay,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
because
it's, and that's something that it took me a long time to just get past, and, but it was in middle school and, high school where, the one teacher that really took me under her wing, she was kind of my saving grace when it came to my education because, you know, going so many years just thinking that you're not capable. I mean, and she literally sat me down and was just, she sat me down and she was so blunt with me. She said, "No, you are capable. Here are the tools that you need, and we're gonna do this." So literally, sit your butt down and really just get to
Yeah.
work. And so
Mhm.
I love that mentality. It's helped me in so many situations, and I know she's probably listening to this. So Heather, if you're listening to this, thank you. I appreciate you, and from the bottom of my heart. I would not be the author I was if it weren't for you, so thank you.
Yes, Heather, thank you. And I thank you, Heather, for being kind of a hard ass and making him do it. Because without your intuition, really, um, we wouldn't have you as an author writing graphic novels. That's amazing. And doing all these amazing things. So, okay, that was beautiful. Thank you again. I'm just so impressed.
No problem.
So I'm impressed anyway. Anytime anybody has authorship or writes a book, but when you have to overcome the things that you have, I mean, it's like, where's your crown? You
Yeah,
deserve it.
definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so we kind of talked about the genre that you like. What genre would you say your graphic novels fall into?
Um, I would say thriller. I mean,
Yeah.
thriller, um, action, uh, the scary stuff that keeps you up at night. Um,
Yeah.
so I would say a lot of that, and but I go about it differently. So that's always gonna be something that I feel separates my stuff from others.
For sure. For sure. I'm so excited to read it. What is one of the most surprising things that you've learned about yourself or the process while writing?
One of the things is that I surprised myself the most was I can go through everything imaginable that would break someone, and I take those emotions, and after I go through something in life, I feel like I can take those emotions, put it on paper, and make something that is remarkably just beautiful in their own way that really speaks to others. And I feel like that's what separates me from uh, the rest of the pack, where that does little things here and there. They can try, but I feel like I'm a bit seasoned in my experience of. All right, that was harsh, but you know what? Let me use it to put it on paper and see how that looks. And sure enough,
Right?
I put it on paper and I'm like, wow, I was really pissed off at such and such, and
Yeah.
this was really needed. So it's therapeutic also, so that helps.
Do you feel like it helps you with kind of coping through all the things that you've been through?
I feel like it's in a sense it does, but I feel like it's validation. It's validation because I know that whatever I go through, I'm not the only one to go through something of X, Y, and Z. And so if I put it on paper, those emotions and these characters, and they're going through X, Y, and Z, and a reader can see that and they feel connected with this character, that's my validation of, okay, if I went through this to get this, that's like the best. And so that's what I strive for every single day.
That's amazing. Because connection is power,
Yes,
you know?
yes, it definitely is.
And not feeling alone.
Yes. No, definitely, I
So,
agree.
yeah. What advice would you have for new or up and coming authors or somebody that's motivated by you, by your story and wants to try it? What would you tell them?
Don't sell yourself short. Just take a pen, put your thoughts on paper, and just go from there. Nothing's
That's
impossible,
beautiful.
and there's no excuse. Like, don't give yourself excuses. If you're tired, okay, still do it. If you're, if you had a bad day, it's okay. Still do it. Like, there's no excuse that is big enough. Like, for instance, the world, like, at this point, if the world was ending, I would still part of me would be like, how did I turn this into a story?
I can see that. I can sense it about you. You're
Yeah.
very analytical, and I bet you're, like, watching and, like,
Yes.
even, like, outside drama. Say you're at the mall, which I don't know who goes to the mall anymore, and you're seeing, like, a couple fight. You're like, "How can I incorporate this in a thriller?"
Yes, yes.
I can see that about
Yes,
you.
yes. It's there, it's there.
I I love that, though, because then that means that you're kind of like your inspiration bank is never ending,
Yes.
you know? Which is good for us as
Yeah,
the readers.
yeah, that's the greatest part of the job.
Yeah, for sure. How do you approach writing? Are you more of like a pantser? Are you a plotter? Do you have kind of like a mix of both?
I would say a mix of both. It depends on the day. If I know that I'm gonna be a busy it's gonna be a busy day, I know that I'm just gonna have to wing it. But if, like, most of the time, I'm just like, all right, this is how it's gonna work, and I plot my ways in advance and make notes for literally everything. Like if a character is gonna sit down, I if a character is gonna sit down and eat something, I can promise you, the reader, I made like 6 months of notes just for that one meal. Like I just to get it more detailed because one day it could be steak, but like say if I just want chicken another day, or oh,
Right.
what would he feel? It's a lot, but I'm more of a in between guy. It depends on how the coffee is, really. But yeah, yeah.
I hear that. I live off of
Oh
caffeine.
yes, yes.
For sure. So you have an editor for your books. Does that simplify the process for you, or
It,
is that kind of
so for my first two books, that was strictly all on my own, and it was not fun. It took the fun out of so many things. And so by the end, and I feel like those books, when they were finished, I felt like it put a disservice to the book itself. And I'm not saying that I'm bad at it, but literally it's just not my forte. And so um I ended up hiring this amazing editor. Her name is Christina Scott. And when I first met her, she was literally just like me. She literally um was in a place where she wanted to get into the field and she just did not know how. And I said, well, let me take a chance. And so I just gave her one chapter and said, do this. And I saw her work and I was like, this kid has something. And so, before anyone else snatches her up, I want to literally just get her foot in the door of this business and say, because Monday she's gonna say, "Hey, Ralph Garcia, put me in the
Yeah.
business," and I worked on his stuff. So I kind of just selfishly for me, I wanted that in the door, like, hey, kid, where did you get your start? Did you have to start with me? So
Right.
yes, and she's already worked on 2 books, of mine, and as unbelievable work, and I'm going to she's currently getting ready for a 3rd, and so she's, I mean, one of the best. So, I mean, there's yeah.
That is so amazing. So, is Lula your first book that you published?
No, it was just something that I'm connected to with the illustrations and so forth. And
Oh,
so
I see.
yeah.
Okay.
And so when it comes to my first book, that was Surviving the Pack. And then it
Okay.
was and then after that it was Nexus Volume 1.
Nexus.
And then after
I have
Nexus
that.
Volume 1, we went into the last outpost, and that is the best. And this week, we just published Expedition Z, which is a short story, and it's no illustrations, but still good. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay, I saw that. And you know what I love that you do that I noticed? You do notebooks slash
yes,
companion books
yes,
for your books, which is so fun because it's kind of like and correct me if I'm wrong, but you can journal in it. You can kind of um like choose your own adventure.
yes,
Is
and,
that kind?
yes, and why I did that was because I wanted the reader to be able to, if they had ideas for their own stories. When I fell in love with stories in the past, I always made notes on them. And the notes that I would make is, okay, how would I do it if I made this story or that story? And I was just captivated by certain stories like Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, Divergent, you name it. Most recently, The Fourth Wing. That's an incredible book. But those are books where I feel if there was a notebook and readers wanted to write their ideas, they should have every right to. And, that's what I wanted with my work. And, it's something that I want to continue moving forward with people that they're able to join in and have their thoughts. And if they get it and bring it to, events that I'm doing and they say, hey, I have this idea and, I will literally sit with readers and say, okay, let me see your ideas. I welcome that. I want that because I feel like if I was in their shoes, that's what I would want. I would want the author to say, wow, let me hear your ideas. Let me see what you done. So, and to take
Yeah,
that time, I feel it connects them to the worlds that we create and they can fall in love with.
that's beautiful. I love that. And I think that's inspiring to people too, to know that when they meet you, or they can message you because a lot
Yes.
of readers feel very nervous,
Oh yeah.
or like
I'm
apprehensive
one of those.
about I have no shame.
Yeah.
You got author in your name, I'm messaging you babes.
I'm
No,
one of those, like, I'm very I know it doesn't sound like it, but when it comes to certain situations, I'm, like, shy and I'm very reserved, like, am I gonna upset them? Am I not gonna upset them?" And, I'm an overthinker. I mean, it makes sense in my field of what I do.
I'm an overthinker too. I am an overthinker too. But um I love that, but you're accessible. People so if you're reading any of, Raphael's books, message him. If you love him, message him. Do you do, like, ARC readers? Like, early readers to kind of, um
I do.
where they can put
I
oh,
yeah,
perfect.
I do, and I'm welcome to it, because I feel like if I feel like something's going somewhere, I want to know people's opinions, because if I'm just working on a story and I don't really have that direction of like, "Ooh, this scared me," or "This was terrifying," I feel like that's something where, um authors should explore, because I feel like it makes you better at what you do, in a sense of developing characters, developing the storyboard, and developing, where you move forward. If it's a series, if it's a book, where you can leave it off on, and so forth.
Yeah, I love that, it makes sense. It makes sense. So do you have a street team
I do.
where of like, "Yay, good, okay, great." I was gonna say, if not, we need to work on that.
I do have a streak.
Good, I love that. Okay, perfect. Well, you don't need me then. I'm just kidding.
I'm welcome to
Uh,
new members. I'm welcome to new members.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're a good reader,
Yes.
let's be picky.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Um, okay, let's see. I have a few more questions
No,
for
no
you.
worries.
How do you know when a story is finished and ready to share with the world?
Ooh, that is a really tricky question. I feel like, first of all, if the coffee runs out, the story is not finished, you're just tired. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but I feel like okay, the difference here is I feel when a book is finished, I feel like that's where readers are really gonna connect the most and really
Mhm.
want to feel at peace with a character. When a story is finished, it means the character has given you everything they could, and there's no better way or no better place to leave them. And so, if you read my books, you will know I have not gone to that second part. There is literally cliffhangers in every story that I've done. Spoiler alert, but for instance, I'll give you an example. My book, my third book, Last Outpost Volume 1. It's Volume 1. So you're not gonna feel at peace by the end, but you're gonna want more.
See, okay, w what is the word? Uh, I just went blank. Like, it's a anyway. Um, hello. Anyway, unpopular opinion. There we go. We figured it out. We rounded it out. I love cliffhangers.
Yes, they're the best.
I mean, I do enjoy for a story to be wrapped up in a pretty little bow,
Yes.
but what I enjoy more is being raked through the coals, kind of
Oh, yeah.
pissed off at the author after, and like, "What? No, what's gonna happen?" Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm a binge reader.
Oh,
So if
yeah.
I like, if you have 2 books in your series, I'm gonna boom, boom. They're gonna be back to back. That's what I love it
Oh,
so
yeah.
much. It's so good.
And
So
that's what we want as authors. We want readers to be invested when we write these things. And so, I'm just that person where, I'm like I said, I'm very detailed. So I know going in, all right, this is probably not just gonna be a one and done. This is gonna be something where we probably get there and we have to piss people off. And so
mhm.
I did it.
Yeah.
I did
I love those though.
it.
It's for sure. It's so good. People are probably gonna come for me in the comments and be like, "What? You're crazy." No, I love it. I love the chaos. Uh, what is something that you hope readers feel when they close your book, besides frustration at the cliffhanger?
Um, I feel like the biggest thing that I want readers to get is I don't want them to feel like, I just read a book. I want them to literally read my work and feel like they just went to the freaking movies. Like I just had an experience and I nearly, peed myself at this part or
Right.
that part. Like I want readers to be like, oh my gosh, I went through an experience with this. And so because also, if, in advance to let readers know, if you read something and you think, I just went through something and it had an experience, it was an experience to get there to be able to do this.
That makes sense that that would translate through your writing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Ugh. Well, um, that's all my questions for you. Thank you again for telling your story and talking about your books. I will link them in the show notes and also tag you on the teaser videos on
Awesome.
Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. So
Awesome. I look forward to
thank you
this. Thank you.
again.
Thank you for having me.
Um, of course. Um, so if you what's your Instagram handle for
Yeah.
people to follow you?
Yeah, so my Instagram and my Facebook handles are at a positive dose of Ralph. So, if you want a bit of positivity in your life that involves zombies and everything scary, I know it's a weird mix, but it is, I promise you,
No.
it's worth the follow.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that handle. That is perfect. Perfect, perfect. Who doesn't need positivity and zombies?
Yes,
Okay?
yes, it works.
Perfect. Absolutely. Well, thank y'all for listening. Thank you again, Rafael Garcia, for being on. It was such a good time. This has been Beyond the Pages with Alyssa Marie, and I will catch you next time. Bye, babes.